welcome in to the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, I mean always, he means always, she means always, they mean always, you mean always, an instant classic.
Danny Dog! Hi, Jake.
We will see you on the flippity dippity. Oh yeah.
Okay, what is going on, good people? And welcome back to the Juggernaut Show. And this is going to be your review for WWE Hell in the Cell 2022. Hosted by Juggernaut097. But before we get started with this review, go ahead and follow the podcast, Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, on all this. Go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, at ICW_podcast. And you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube, or you can listen to us on YouTube. It doesn't matter. You can listen and watch us. Whatever you guys want to do. You know, to see our beautiful faces here. So you could do that. And also you can go listen on Anchor also. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at TheTrueJSB. And follow me on Instagram, TheTrueJSB. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time ever checking out my channel, that really helped me out a lot. And turn on that post notification button to be notified every time I make a new video. So you don't have to wonder, oh, when is Juggernaut making a new video? Well, you already know, because you already have those notifications on. So let's go waste some time and let's get started with this review here. So Hell in a Cell was this past Sunday, and you know, my overall thoughts on this show, I thought it was a decent show, but like, I mean, there were things I was excited about on this show, but then there were things I just didn't really care about. Like, I cared about the main event quite a bit, which, you know, I kind of want to talk a little bit about that, you know, because we already know, you know, Cody Rhodes, you know, he suffered that torn bicep, okay? And I don't really think that, Vince McMahon or the doctors, that they cleared him, like, they made him go out there. I think it was him that wanted to go out there because, you know what? Cody's a fighter, you know. I mean, he had this guaranteed money to come back, you know, especially, you know, when you're in the main event. You know, you're going to be even making more money when you're, you know, headlining the pay-per-view. So, I mean, I kind of understand the moves, but, like, no doctors, nobody cleared him to go because that looked really bad. His injury looked really bad, which I got to give Cody Rhodes props. Because if it was me out there, I mean, if I was in that situation, I would have not wrestled. Because, you know, there has been, you know, this injuries in the past. You know, John Cena, you know, he's suffered it. Triple H, you know, he suffered this bicep injury. I think one of the quickest returns that ever came back was John Cena. Yeah, back in when he got injured in 2007 when he tore his bicep. And then people thought he was going to be out till like June, and then he came back at the Rumble. So, I mean, this injury could be, you know, pretty lengthy, you know, depending on, you know, the rehab status and, like, and how you are as a person, you know, with recovering. But yeah, I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit. Like, there were points in that match where were this hard to watch. Like, this looked disgusting. But yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the main event more when we get into that. So let's actually start off talking about the first match of the night, which we had was the Raw Women's Championship on the line. We had Bianca Belair defending the title against Asuka and Becky Lynch. I thought this was a really good match, really good opener. Yeah, I really enjoyed this match. All three women worked really well together. I think this is quite honestly my favorite triple threat match, women's triple threat match that happened in recent time. Yeah, I thought this was really good. The action that they were doing, you know, like early on in the match where Bianca, you know, she tries going for the KOD early on to, I think it was Becky. Like I said, all three women work very well together. I even like the spot with Asuka doing the double ankle lock. You know, that kind of shades of Kurt Angle back in 07 when he was in TNA. I can't remember pay-per-view that was that. But you know, that kind of reminded me what happened with that. What else do we have in this match? You know, there were a lot of breakups in this match, a lot of false finishes. Asuka was pretty dominant in this match. Like I said, all three women worked really well together. I like it. If I'm trying to like go by every spot, you know, that's gonna be hard. And also Becky Lynch, you know, she was copying a lot of wrestlers in this match. You know, like she was taking a lot of people's movesets. Because, like, when she hit that leg drop off the top rope, I got like, yeah, you kind of looking like Carmelo Hayes there, you know, kind of taking some moves from him. You know, she was taking some moves from wrestlers, you know, different wrestlers and stuff. So I thought that was very interesting what was going on with Becky Lynch here. But in the end, Bianca Belair will retain when it was Becky Lynch. She was going for the manhandle. She hit the manhandle slam on Asuka, and then Bianca threw Becky out of the ring, and Bianca got the 1-2-3. So yeah, still your Raw Women's Champion is Bianca Belair. Now earlier, like when I saw this going down, I'm like, you know what? Maybe Asuka might be getting, you know, another shot for the title, or maybe Becky might be getting a shot the next pay-per-view. But we'll see from the next time on Raw, which we'll talk about, you know, more about what's going to be unfolding with the Raw Women's Championship in the future here. So it's going to be very interesting what happens. But yeah, Bianca Belair retained. I thought it was a really good opener. Really enjoyed it. And the crowd was hot. You know, of course, Chicago is always hot. You know, they like to hijack, or yeah, they just like to take control of the shows and stuff. You know, they like to make a show out of it. But yeah, we'll move on to the next match, which we had was a handicap match. Bobby Lashley going up against Omos and MVP. Yeah, this match, I really wasn't looking forward to this match at all. Like this rivalry has been going on for like quite a while here, ever since Bobby Lashley, you know, left the Hurt Business, which I don't know how many months that was, but it's been a while. MVP, I mean, he was looking pretty decent in this match. There was a spot where they had a barricade break with, you know, Omos breaking the barricade with Bobby Lashley. That just looked really bad. It came off bad, and like you can see, you know, the difference is, you know, like spears. You know, when you see Roman Reigns do a spear, like he puts his force into it, or like Brock Lesnar when they break the barricade. You know, you definitely could see like, yeah, Omos, it looked like a light shove into it. Like it just looked like they were going for a hug. It just looked really bad. I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, Bobby Lashley ends up winning by putting the Hurt Lock onto MVP, and MVP taps out. And the crowd give a huge pop for that. I mean, I feel like the crowd now these days, like, it's hard to get like huge pops, but like now I feel like WWE fans, or just wrestling fans in general, they pop for anything. I mean, they just pop for anything, or like maybe sometimes you might not get the pop that you want, or you think that's gonna happen. I don't know. It's just weird right now what's going on in professional wrestling, but I hope this feud is over. I mean, after the match we had, Bobby Lashley, you know, he was kind of, you know, showing like that he wants to go for the title, and then he went in the crowd, or like he went and took a fan's replica, basically saying that, hey, he wants a shot for the WWE Championship again. So we'll see where this goes. And you know, apparently Roman Reigns, you know, he's not going to be at Money in the Bank. You know, he's still he's on a hiatus right now. So, you know, we don't have him around. You know, the champion's not around, which is kind of hurting a little bit. But I don't know. It's just a weird summer right here for wrestling. You know, with a lot of injuries going on. I remember CM Punk. You know, he's gone. Which maybe after I get done talking about this review here, maybe I might talk about the Punk situation. But yeah, let's move on to the next match, which we had was Ezekiel, aka Elias, going up against Kevin Owens. And it's kind of unfortunate to where, Kevin Owens, he was in a high marquee main event at WrestleMania 38 in Dallas, Texas, facing Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now he's doing this mid-card stuff with Elias or Ezekiel. I don't know. I'm just the storyline that seems. I'm not a big fan of the storyline here, because we all know that is Elias. That's not Ezekiel. And if you think that Ezekiel has a brother named Elias, you're crazy. Okay, that's Elias right there. And I thought it was an okay match, and I feel like this character with Ezekiel, what they're doing here, it kind of reminds me of like a mix between Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man. Because you have Ezekiel wearing the tassel, around his arms, and like his physique that Ezekiel's doing. That kind of, physique Ezekiel. The physique that he's doing, like he's very buff and like the Ultimate Warrior was. I don't know. I just feel like it's a mix between that right now and that elbow drop that Zeke did. It just seemed Macho Man-esque, which I thought was good. Early on in the match, Zeke had a lot of momentum in this match, and then Kevin Owens, eventually came back. The way that Kevin Owens is, and he hit the stunner to get the 1, 2, 3. So the winner of the match was Kevin Owens here, and then the next time on Raw. Which, Raw has been pretty decent as of late. Raw has been bearable to watch, with certain segments. There's other things going. The booking has been getting a little, like I said, been getting a little better. I still hate that it's 3 hours though. But yeah. So basically, the next time on Raw we had Kevin Owens say, "Hey, admit that you're Elias," and he admitted that he was Elias, and basically, because I think Ezekiel, he wanted another match. He's like, "Okay, I'm Elias." He goes, "I got you, Kevin Owens. I lied to you, just like you pull the trick that you always play, because you always lie." So like I said, I'm not a fan of the storyline, like what it's behind you. Like, oh, he's not who he says he is, and Kevin Owens trying to, like, why should you care who he is? Like I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it. But at least after doing something with Kevin Owens, I gotta give it that. But I just wish he was doing something better. But let's move on to the next match, which we had was a 6-person mixed tag team match. We had the Judgment Day, the team of Edge, Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest going up against AJ Styles, Liv Morgan, and Finn Balor. I thought this was an alright match. So we had the men go up against the men and the women go up against the women. I thought it was a bit awkward at some points where it was more with like Liv Morgan and like Rhea Ripley, like if it sucks that they couldn't score off against, like, the women couldn't score off against the men. That was kind of an odd point in the match. And I think this was one of the biggest matches that Liv Morgan has ever been in, like on a pay-per-view. Which I thought she did decent. Wasn't super crazy what she did, but majority of the match, Judgment Day, they had a lot of control. They had a lot of control in this match. Until like Finn Balor, he made the hot tag to AJ Styles, and AJ Styles, he hit his phenomenal forearm off the top rope on the edge, springboard forearm. I even liked the planchas that AJ and Finn Balor did, but then Liv Morgan, she then went on to Rhea Ripley on the outside. And she kind of botched it a little bit. Like it looks like her foot kind of like hit the ropes a little bit, and like it didn't come off as clean as it didn't come off very clean. But like I said, I thought it was a decent match here. We had a lot of brawl in this match. A whole bunch of stuff breaking down. So much spots in this match. But the ending came when Rhea Ripley, she kind of she was like a game changer in this match. Basically, she stood in front of Finn Balor, and Finn Balor, he seemed like all mesmerized in what Rhea Ripley was doing. Like, hey, you're gonna take the bullet for your team? Like, then that's pretty good there. And then kind of Liv Morgan tried to stop Rhea Ripley, and then that it was just too late because Edge recovered and hit the spear on the Finn Balor to get the 1, 2, 3. And so the leader of the Judgment Day got the pin here, and the Judgment Day wins. But then on the next night of Raw, which was crazy, like it was a big old swerve because I was watching. It's like we had a couple big swerves on Raw, which hasn't happened for a long time. But the leader of the Judgment Day got kicked out, which is crazy because Finn Balor, he said, hey, he saw something in Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, and Damian Priest is basically saying, "Hey, Edge, you're the guy you're the person who's holding us back." So then like I never seen that since I don't remember last time I seen that a leader of a faction get kicked out, which is crazy because apparently they couldn't take Edge seriously, as a heel. People were cheering him too much. People couldn't not cheer Edge, which makes sense. And also apparently maybe the numbers for the Edge or the reviews for Edge and AJ Styles matches, they weren't coming off as great as people thought they would. So maybe that's why they turned him back to babyface. But I guess we'll see where this goes. With the new leader of the Judgment Day with Rhea Ripley kind of leading the group. And now Rhea Ripley, she won a Fatal 4-Way match this past Monday. Now she's going to be going for the Raw Women's Championship at Money in the Bank. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting where this goes. And I'm in for it because this is some of the most interesting stuff on Monday Night Raw right now. But yeah, I thought it was a decent match here. Between the Judgment Day and AJ Styles, Liv Morgan, and Finn Balor. And then the next match we had was Madcap Moss going up against Happy Corbin. To be honest, I really wasn't paying attention to this match. I know that Madcap Moss won, if I can say his name right. Gosh. Madcap Moss won. There's not much else to say about this. The crowd wasn't really reacting to, even when Madcap won. And this was on the SmackDown match on the show, so that tells you how much SmackDown is doing. I don't even know what Madcap's finisher is, but he was looking different. He wasn't wearing his suspenders. His whole attire was different. Yeah, I think he had a new theme song also. But yeah, Madcap won the match. Not much else to say. And then the next match we had was the United States Championship on the line. We had Theory defending the title against Mustafa Ali, the hometown boy of Chicago. Which the crowd, they were giving Mustafa, a big pop here, and they gave him a pretty big pop. I thought it was a back and forth match. I thought it was good. But yeah, what they're doing with her right now, with being, the man for Vince, being Vince's handpicked person or whatever. I like what they're kind of doing here. The way he's coming off here. Theory ended up winning the match by 8 down. Get the 1, 2, 3. There were points where I thought that maybe Mustafa could have won. But yeah, they, like I said, usually when you're in your hometown, they don't usually let you win. Usually. But it goes on other occasions and stuff. But like I said, I thought it was a decent match. Mustafa, he was doing some pretty good moves in this match. So, Theory, I feel like their chemistry was all right. It wasn't a great match, but it was okay. And now, this is what I was hyped for going into the show. This is this is the trilogy. This is the third match, a part of this trilogy here. And then I think it was that Saturday we figured out that Cody Rhodes, he torn his bicep. So like, oh, is he still gonna be able to wrestle? Is he not? Like, there was nothing coming out that's saying, oh, the match is off. No, Cody Rhodes, he still wanted to go out and wrestle. So, I gotta give Cody Rhodes props there. And also Seth Rollins, when he came out doing his entrance, he had the polka dots on, kind of paying homage and like kind of mocking Dusty at the same time, because Dusty, the son of Cody Rhodes. I mean, Dusty, the father of Cody Rhodes, trained Seth Rollins. So kind of paying homage to Dusty, and also kind of mocking the Dusty Rhodes also. And then like I remember listening to like the Vince and Stone Cold podcast, the Broken Skull sessions, and Vince saying, hey, we want to put Dusty in polka dots, and it worked. It worked very well for Dusty back in the day. But no, we had Cody Rhodes come out. He came out with his normal gear and stuff, and he took off his coat. Oh man, that bicep, it just looked really bad. It looked so inflamed, like so purple and blue and red. Like it just looked really bad. And as the match progressed, it just kept getting more inflamed. Like, I don't know what type of drugs that they had Cody on, but like they must have been having on some pretty big painkillers, because like I said, if that was me, I'd be like, nope, I'm not doing the match. But Cody, he's a different breed. He wanted to go out there, and especially like when he came back to WWE, he wanted to make a huge impact back here. And it's crazy, for him being like the most over guy here, right now. Back to like when he was back at what was it, Grand Slam, or not Grand Slam, or that St. Patrick's Day special with him and who was it? It was him and. What was that ladder match that they did? That guy is in AEW right now. Sammy Guevara, sorry. My mind was blanking there. With him and Sammy Guevara. With basically Cody getting booed from the AEW fans. I don't know why he was getting booed so much, but like everybody loves him here right now, which it's unfortunate circumstance of what happened, with it. Cody tearing his bicep. But no, I thought this was a really good match here. Like, despite what was, the situation that Cody was in, I thought it was really good. They actually made it into a good match. I thought they were just going to pull, like, an angle off, like, oh, Cody can't compete, or, like, make a quick match out of this. But no, they were actually put on a full legit match. I don't know how they did that. There was a lot of near falls in this match. And especially, there were a whole bunch of weapons that were involved in this match. There was one spot where it was Seth Rollins. He brought out a kendo stick and took it to the bicep of Cody. It just looked, there were points that made me cringe. Cody should not have went through with this. Even we had, what else do we have in this match? We had a buckle bomb that Seth Rollins did in this match through a table. That I thought that was good. Whole bunch, like I said, a whole bunch of near falls. I even liked with the bull rope. I thought that was pretty cool, because going back to the Dusty Road days, he kind of invented that a little bit. He kind of started, having the bull rope, so kind of paying homage there. Even we had Seth Rollins trying to go for pedigrees in this match, but Cody Rhodes turned it into his own pedigree, like I said, a whole bunch of kickouts. Even Rollins hitting the curve stomp, and then, like I said, a kickout from that. And then even Cody Rhodes brought out a sledgehammer, but when he first brought the sledgehammer, he couldn't lift it, with his bad arm. He couldn't lift it very well. And then we even had Rollins trying to hit, take Cody Rhodes' finisher, taking the Dream Street, not the Dream Street, freak. My mind's blanking right now. Taking Cody Rhodes' finisher, the Crossroads. So I thought it was really good here. Like the spots that they were doing, like I said, so many near falls in this match. And like I said, I gotta give Cody Rhodes props. And nobody forced him to go out there. No, I don't think anybody really forced him to go out there. I think it was solely on his behalf. Like, he was like, hey, I want to go out there because I want to prove to the crowd, like, prove that I'm passionate for this. And I really think that he is. And I really like what he's doing here in WWE. But in the end, Cody Rhodes did get the win. He hit the crossroads like 3 times on Rollins towards the end. And like I said, he won the match. And, it's kind of... Now I kind of can go on to this thing that... What I want to talk about, This summer is this crazy going on with wrestling right now. I thought it's going to be a great summer here, We got CM Punk in AEW, he's as the AEW champion. We got Cody Rhodes, it's going to be like the summer of Cody Rhodes here, for WWE. But those 2 guys getting injured, this kind of hurts a little bit. And then now in the 2 weeks, we got John Cena coming back on, I think it's June 27th on Monday Night Raw, the 20th anniversary of John Cena. So, we got him coming back. And Roman Reigns, he's kind of been absent for a while. Like, we don't got the champion there. It's got some crazy stuff going on in professional wrestling. And, like, the whole stuff that's unfolding. We got Moxley. He's going to Forbidden Door. And then we have, we're going to be figuring out, I think it's Hiroki Goto and Hiroshi Tanahashi. They're going to be facing this Sunday at Dominion to see who's going to be going to Forbidden Door. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. It's going to be interesting to see the whole build up, to, who's going to be the AEW champion. Not the inaugural, but what's the word I'm trying to think of? The interim AEW champion. Because I think it's cool how, like, in AEW, they don't strip you of the title. Like, they eventually, like, they still have, even though you're not there and you're not the champion, you still get to hold the title, and then eventually when you come back, then they have a match between the interim champion and the current champion. So I think that's cool what the AEW does. It's a lot different, than like in WWE where you have to relinquish the belt, basically start from scratch. So I think that's good. And also that new title that they announced for AEW, which is the All Atlantic Championship, which I like the design of the belt. I think it's really good. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of crazy things going on in professional wrestling right now. I'm gonna do my NXT in your house review. I'm gonna do that later on here, so stay tuned for that. I just wanted to get my Hell in a Cell review knocked out right here. But yeah, if you stuck around during the whole video, I really appreciate that. And if, like I said, first time checking out my channel, go subscribe. This one little subscribe that will help quite a bit. And this is your boy Juggernaut097, and I will catch you guys in my next video. And like I said, like I said, you can go watch the Instant Classic Wrestling podcast on YouTube. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, and also, like I said, go follow the podcast at ICW_podcast on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and also you go search us on Google because we are Googleable. So I'll talk to you guys later.